sin. Is vaping a sin?
More lighthearted topic, I guess.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where if you're looking in the Bible, does it say thou shalt not vape? And the Bible doesn't say that. But there's a couple things that we need to think about as Christians. One is that God created us in a way that for a purpose, and that for us not knowing fully what the purpose is, what we have to be willing to do is to be as ready as possible. So anything we do that's detrimental to our health can work against that purpose. I told you earlier I like to run, I like to lift weights. I started doing something recently that I don't like to do, and I started to watch my diet more. And I started watching what I eat. I love to just eat whatever I want to eat. And I used to think because I ran and lifted weights, it would cancel all that all out. But it doesn't necessarily. And so if I'm thinking about my health, and I'm thinking about being able to minister as long as I can, then my health isn't just about me trying to win a race or be the most awesome 56-year-old there is. It's about being healthy enough to fulfill the responsibilities I've been given, to take care of my wife, take care of my kids, serve as long as I can in the church. And so the problem, I think, with when people hear about vaping is they're being criticized by people who are doing similar things to their own bodies. Whether it's overindulging in alcohol, whether it's not exercising, it's overeating, it's all this other stuff, and they're looking at you say stop vaping while they're doing these other things. It's like some of these people now, they're riding around on motorcycles and scooters with a mask on, but no helmet. They don't have a helmet on, but they put a mask on, because somehow that virus is going to fly through the air and hit them on their motorcycle. But, hey, I leave my head totally unprotected. It doesn't really make any sense, and for especially adults to be telling young people, stop doing this, stop doing that, while they engage in all kinds of unhealthy behavior themselves, it kind of rings hollow to me. And so the reason I don't think you should do it is because of that. And the second reason is because anything that becomes habit forming is a problem for Christians. Because as Christians, the Bible tells us we want to be controlled by the Holy Spirit. But if I become addicted to drugs, to alcohol, or vaping, cigarettes, or anything like that, something else has control over me. And once that something else has control over me, that part of me, the Holy Spirit doesn't control. Some other thing does. And I don't really think that's a position that Christians should willingly put themselves in.
Is vaping, is there a legal age limit?
I think there is. Yeah.
Is there?
That's another.
Is there a legal age
I
limit?
don't know.
Who vapes?
I think
in
it's
here?
I think it's 18. Okay.
Calvin's looking at the floor, so.
I'm pretty sure it's 18. 18 or 21, right? I think it's 18 or maybe even 16. So I know we have a lot of younger viewers from youth groups watching maybe 6th grade, 7th grade, and they may not even know what vaping is. Vaping is, electronic cigarettes.
They're going to try it now because Pastor Phil mentioned it.
Yeah, it is wrong for you guys. All right, if you're not the legal age, it is flat out wrong for you. So I want to get that straight. I know there might be some parents watching. Hey, I'm I'm doing the right thing, teaching your kids here. Yeah, it's flat out wrong. If I catch you with it at our church, I'm going to take it straight from you. All right, and I'm going to give it to your parents. But in terms of a better question, I think we're talking about here is, I tell this to anybody who has questions about, underage drinking or tattoos or vaping or somewhere along those lines. I always bring them back to 1 Corinthians 8. Paul talks about eating meat that has been sacrificed to idols. Some Christians do it, some Christians don't. And he makes the point to say that, because we know we have been redeemed only through Christ, we are free to eat this. Right? But then Paul also says, so that he's talking about the believer's freedom, right? As long as it's legal, then you're free to do it, right? But he understands that we are always in community with each other. And he talks about, at the very end, he comes to the conclusion where he says, if me eating meat will cause one of my brothers whom I love, whom I recognize that Christ has died for, if that causes me to sin, then I'm never going to eat meat again, right? And the question I always pose to these young students who ask me, is it okay to get a tattoo? Is it okay to drink alcohol? That sort of thing is, will you love your community? Will you love the community of Christ and Jesus Christ himself that much where you would be able to say, you know what, if that makes a big deal, then I'm not going to do it, right? And so that's a constant checking of yourself in terms of, the family, the church family that you say you love.